Right then, welcome back to the channel. Stephen Howson, 5 things that we learnt watching Manchester United at Anfield yesterday. And, like I said at the time, good result wasn't necessarily a good performance. And even though keeping a clean sheet at a place where, they've scored 35 goals, the aggregate score of our last visits is 17-1, something like that. So there's a lot of positives to take from it. But you can't be deluded into thinking that this was in any way such a great performance. There's a lot of parallels with the 7-0. The level of possession was very similar. They had 8 shots on target in the 7-0. They had 8 shots on target in yesterday's game. They have 34 shots on goal. I think that's the Darwin Núñez factor, in all honesty. They only had 18 on goal in the last game, so there was similarities. I don't necessarily think any of the saves that Onana had to make were particularly difficult, but he did make quite straightforward saves that maybe De Gea wouldn't have made last season, and there was a fight all the way through the game that didn't exist last season as well. So I do think we got quite lucky with coming away with the clean sheet. But it's a good result, and let's call it what it is. It was a good result, but it wasn't the greatest of performances. Anyway, first things first, Amrabat. So I thought Amrabat looked a little bit out of his depth. I can appreciate the defensive performance that he put in, but he looked clumsy. Like, this is a guy that I've seen be agile, cut about the place, but he did look a little bit clumsy. And when we were set in our defensive position, he was there. On the transition, he did struggle a little bit. It was poor from him in possession, which is something that you don't necessarily associate with him. And there was a few times that he was left a little bit isolated. Didn't really have too many people that he could easily pass the ball to, but I don't think it was a good game from him. I don't know if he's still lacking a little bit of match fitness or whatever, but he's been a bit of a disappointment in terms of his start to life at Manchester United. I don't think he's been anywhere near what we thought he would be, but him actually reaching that level, which I think he can do, could be a massive boost for us in the second half of the season. Number 2, McTominay again. He was captain for the day, but he was a ghost in terms of his performance. Now, it could have been a masterstroke. You throw in McTominay into the mix, he almost has 0 defensive responsibilities, so he's there as someone to go and crash the opposition box. Very Fellaini-esque, but probably a little bit quicker than Fellaini. Now, he had 17 completed passes, and he only had a 68% pass accuracy. That's horrendous. To operate in the hole, you either the divine ponytail, Roberto Baggio, and you're getting on the ball and you are puppet mastering this entire thing, or you are that Fellaini, essentially a second striker. And we obviously went for the second striker option, but what we didn't factor in is that we had wingers incapable of finding our striker, and the lack of fluidity in the final third from United is concerning. And McTominay didn't help that. He looked uncomfortable operating in that hole, but he looks uncomfortable almost anywhere else. He was second best in the duels. He just isn't the answer. And I do worry. I think I've just spoken about how Amrabat was poor, but Amrabat was still a productive member of the team. I think if you play Amrabat alongside a Mainoo, I think you're going to get a lot more productivity out of us as a team than if you play McTominay, because I believe he's a little bit dysfunctional. But I think it highlights where United are as a team at the moment. We partnered with Surfshark to bring you this video, and Surfshark is a virtual private network, or a VPN, that safeguards your online identity by encrypting all the information exchanged between your device and the internet. That means your personal data is protected from cyber criminals and large companies. Here's some of the ways that Surfshark can benefit you. Surfshark liberates your internet by unlocking blocked websites and bypassing geo-restrictions. You can change your virtual locations to access and unblock content libraries and streaming services from other countries, such as BBC iPlayer and Netflix and all that good stuff. Surfshark has over 3,200 servers in 100 countries, meaning you can unblock sports streams that are only being shown in certain countries. You can also protect your online activities when streaming movies with Surfshark's Clean Web feature that blocks ads, it blocks malware and phishing attempts to ensure safe streaming. And you can also use one account on unlimited devices, including phones and laptops. If you're interested in checking out Surfshark, get an exclusive Surfshark holiday deal. Enter the promo code Howson, that's HOWSON, and get up to 6 additional months for free at surfshark.deals/Howson. You can follow the link in the video description to take advantage of this offer. Additionally, Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. There is simply no risk in giving it a try. Go check it out. Number 3, Mainoo. What a talent. What a talent. It's kind of upsetting how he's come into such a dysfunctional United team. And United almost are forced into giving this kid no time to settle in, so much pressure to succeed. And to highlight the pressure to succeed, his only ever starts in professional football have come at Goodison, St James's and Anfield. The bollocks on this kid to not only go in and not completely crumble in those areas, but come out and actually, I would say across those 3 games, comfortably be Manchester United's best footballer. And I don't know if there's anyone that's going to disagree with me on that statement. Best footballer across those 3 games, Kobbie Mainoo. And then the other 2 games where he's made a cameo appearance, 20-odd minutes each or so, Bayern Munich in the Champions League and Galatasaray away. That's his footballing CV at the moment, them 5 games. And the level of experience that he plays with belies those 5 games. That's the totality of his experience. He's played like 400 minutes maybe or something of professional football. Yeah, he walks around the gaff like he owns it. He's got so much time on the ball. He is so composed. His decision making is so fucking good. It's unfathomable. Who taught this kid to play football? Find that guy. Is it a dad? Is it an uncle? Is it an under-14s coach? Who the fuck taught this guy how to play football? Because he gets it. Like, there's some people that have got... Look, there's a reason that F2 freestylers aren't professional footballers, because it isn't all about, can you do a million fucking tricks? Game intelligence is what makes the difference between a technical footballer and a professional footballer. And Kobbie Mainoo has got the fucking lot. And when you're trying to explain to someone, oh, what does he do? Does he, like, dribble through loads of people? Not fucking really, no. Like, is he getting a fucking 100 passes a game in? No. Is he making like 15 tackles? No. Does he score loads of goals? No. What the fuck does he do? I don't know, but he does it mint. Like, he's just fucking flawless. The sky is the limit with this guy. I can't wait to see what he looks like after 100 games. Can you imagine? The intelligence is unnerving. Genuinely. The game intelligence is genuinely unnerving. And that composure, that decision-making is sorely lacking. And it's a joy. I tweeted during the game yesterday, I am so happy this kid is a United player. He saved us 80 million at some point in the future. By absolute fact. Number 4, Varane. He was outstanding yesterday. Blocks, clearances, aerial duels, taking the ball under pressure, getting into the second line and receiving the ball. Like, this is really interesting. There was a sort of a clips package somebody put together on Twitter about a month ago, highlighting how Maguire will hide behind someone and mark someone, and then someone said, I think it's orders. And actually, they sort of have a point with that. Because yesterday I saw Varane doing it, but what I saw Varane doing was getting beyond and getting into a position where he could receive the ball. Rather than hiding and marking himself, Varane was breaking the line himself, turning, getting on the ball and advancing the ball at the pitch. It was it was so nonchalant the way he was doing it. Like, we've missed it. Like, why have United been so bad this year? You haven't had that, and you haven't had Martinez. And if you've got Martinez and you've got Varane, you're a fucking really good footballing defensive unit. That's the top and bottom of it. You know, someone with his pedigree could have phoned it in after losing his place, but he didn't. He stood up, and I hope whatever issue there is between himself and Ten Hag has gone, or is at least on the fucking runway to go, because a fit Rafael Varane, one, is extremely difficult to replace, and two, genuinely makes us a good football team, and that's all we're here to see, isn't it? And number 5, Ten Hag buys himself a little bit of time. I think a poor result yesterday would have seen a lot of people jump over to the dark side and start hounding him out. There's already a few doing it. It is mostly the Twitter lot, but you know, it can be quite noisy with the Twitter lot sometimes. There was an expectation United was going to get blown away, and we didn't get blown away. And we get away with a little bit of a draw. Now, I hope that means he makes it into January. I hope that means that he gets the opportunity to bring in some reinforcements, and I hope that gives him the opportunity to be able to put this right. We've seen comparisons recently with the points per game tallies of both Arteta and Klopp in their first 85 to 100 or so games, and he's outperforming both of those guys. So when you look at the position that the club was in when he took over, very similar to where Liverpool and Arsenal was, and the time that was afforded to both of those guys, and the money that both of them spent, they both spent heavily. You know, Klopp's net spend gets completely reset for getting like 180 million for Coutinho. Honestly, someone needs to investigate Barcelona, because Christ, no wonder they're $1 billion in debt with doing mad shit like that. But they still also spent heavily. Now, they also both had decent directors of football that were identifying targets and bringing them in. I believe there was an argument about bringing in Mo Salah and whoever it was that actually Klopp wanted, and the system actually said, oh no, this is the player. And he turned out not too bad, I would say, to be fair to say. But we do have to improve performances. Results are good, but ultimately performances are more organic kind of thing, where performances will eventually get the right result, good or bad. If you keep playing well, you'll eventually get good results. If you keep playing bad, you'll eventually get bad results. You get what you get. You know, you can have fluke and outlying performances where you've been fantastic and drew or lost, and you can have sensational ones where, you know, you get away with a draw when maybe you should have lost. You know, but fundamentally, you know, taking over a 38-game season, if you perform badly, you ain't winning the league. And if you perform well, you should be in with a chance of it. So anyway, that's 5 things from Liverpool. Cheers for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Oh, before you go, there is a new video just uploaded on my second channel, which is Howson IRL. And I think you'll like it. Go and check it out. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.